In brightest day, in blackest night, all other podcasts tremble in fright. Losers cower before the power. Oranges lust and blues you can trust. Indigos feel and white ones heal. Yellow scare and green ones dare. That sapphire love and black hands glove will rock your foundation without hesitation. Chad and Mars face evil's might. Respect their power, for they'll make you see the light.
Hey, LanternCast family, I'm Chad Bokelman, and welcome to a special episode of the LanternCast. This is actually going to be another kind of a convention audio interview kind of report thing. As you guys know, I have a history of, getting some press passes to local area conventions when there are, local to the Central Texas area. And when, there are enough guests that, deem the, press pass treatment, with relation to Green Lantern, I try and, sneak in there and get what audio I can for you guys. Lately, by lately I just mean the past couple of years I've done this, it's been Wizard World Austin. There's actually a convention that's been starting up down here in the Central Texas area for the past, year or two. That is the Alamo City Comic-Con. Alamo City Comic-Con takes place in San Antonio, Texas, and several months ago I super advance asked the convention organizers if I could get a press pass, kind of introduce myself. I want to establish a relationship with them. And they were gracious enough to grant me two, not just for myself, but for myself and another individual, because I've noticed the past few times I've gone to conventions to get interviews that I always wish I had some more photos to share with you guys, pictures of me doing the, actually during the interview, speaking with these creators, making sure I get a picture taken with the creator after the interview, things like that. And this time around, I thought ahead, and I did that. And as luck would have it, these don't have to be professional photographs. They have to be just kind of, point and shoot kind of photographs. So I didn't really need a specific professional photographer. So I recruited my future brother-in-law. My little sister got engaged a few months back, and my future brother-in-law, Gary, he's a bit of a geek, likes things like lots of video games, huge Lord of the Rings fan. Take how big of a fan I am of Green Lantern and multiply that by times 2 and make it Lord of the Rings instead, and that's Gary with Lord of the Rings. He's been coming over to the comic side a little bit. Yes, it's my doing. A little bit outside of influence, reading as a kid and stuff, I think. But, animated movies, and we play a little bit of DC deck building, but that's neither here nor there. Invited him down. And because he's a bit of a geek, this was his first convention, and because he's going to be my future brother-in-law, although I know him pretty well already, I figured, it'd be a good bonding experience too. So we all went down there. San Antonio is about an hour and a half outside of Austin, and we stayed with Gary's sister, Jaina, and her husband, and their roommate, and down in their house, and they were gracious enough to drive us to the show so that we could save on parking. And we had a time of it. I was able to get interviews, since this is the whole point of this episode. The two interviews that you will hear in this episode. The first being an interview with Philip Tan. Philip Tan is the artist, is an artist for DC for a little bit there, and he was Green Lantern related he was most known for the Agent Orange storyline, as well as designing all of the Orange Lantern concepts, all the Orange Lantern character designs, and we talked about that and a couple other things. I actually got a print from Philip. He was nice enough to also do a quick Larfleeze sketch in my sketchbook, my Lantern-based sketchbook, for free for me. So that was pretty nice of him. And we sat and talked about Agent Orange and his work with DC. So you'll hear that here in just a second. In addition to that, you will also hear an interview with Pat Broderick. Pat was probably one of the highlights of the convention for me. Not to put down Philip or anybody. Philip was actually extremely nice, and we talked several times throughout the con. But Pat was extremely approachable, extremely friendly. He took as much time as necessary out to properly speak with me about the various topics I wanted to talk about. As you guys may or may not know, I also run a blog all about Ragman, the suit of souls.blogspot.com. And it's a blog and a character that is near and dear to my heart. And Pat actually worked on the 6-issue 1991 Ragman miniseries, the 8-issue rather, Ragman miniseries, that had come out in the early 90s that was scripted, I believe, by Keith Giffen, and also was the first series focusing on Ragman post-crisis, meaning that was when the character developed the whole suit of souls concept, the more supernatural bent to it, and the connection to Jewish mythology and folklore. That's obviously nothing to do with Green Lantern, so I'm not going to go too far into that. I did sit down with Pat, and I did do a separate interview on that topic of Ragman, and I transcribed it, and it is available over on my blog if you are curious. Again, The Suit of Souls, so The Suit of Souls.blogspot.com if you're curious about that. But in addition to talking with me at length about Ragman, Pat also sat down and talked to me on a separate occasion about Green Lantern. Pat did several issues of Green Lantern right when Appa Ali Apsa went mad, as well as a 3-issue Star Sapphire story arc around that same time. So we talked about his little brief stint on Green Lantern as well, so you will hear that particular bit of audio. In addition, I met Brett Booth and Andrew Dalhouse at the convention. They shared a table together. Brett Booth and Andrew Dalhouse have been working together for a long time, probably more notably on Teen Titans when the New 52 got started, as well as they are the current artistic team behind the Flash series in the New 52. Not quite sure if we're still calling it the New 52 anymore based on recent DC moves, but that's what I'm calling it at the moment. So they're the current creative team behind, artistic creative team behind the Flash. But Brett and Andrew actually, Brett did the art for the Larfleeze Christmas special, as well as a story within the Untold Tales of the Blackest Night issue. That collected several different stories, one of which being a Ragman story. Awesome. But there was also a Scarecrow story within that Untold Tales of the Blackest Night issue that Brett and Andrew worked on. I planned to talk to them during the con about that. But as luck would have it, they actually had a panel together that I sort of semi-moderated. And I'll get to that story. Actually, I might as well tell it now, because I'm actually just going to give you guys the whole string of audio from the con straight out after I'm through talking here. I didn't want to just drop these interviews on you cold. I wanted to give you a bit of backstory and stuff like that. So the way it kind of worked is we had a panel. Brett and Andrew had a panel, and the panel was low attended, and it was listed on there that it was going to be mostly regarding their work on Teen Titans. I guess whomever was organizing the panels thought that that was their most recent work, not being aware of the Flash or what. I'm not sure how these things come about, but it was myself, my future brother-in-law Gary, and two other individuals sitting in on that panel, and there was no moderator. So kind of being fish out of the waters themselves, Brett and Andrew, as well as, me and myself, wanting to make sure that I spent the time. Because I wanted to talk with Brett and Andrew with regards to the Larfleeze Christmas special and the Untold Tales of the Blackest Night issue, the Scarecrow story, I just started pitching them questions from, front row, 5 feet in front of them in the audience. And I actually recorded that whole panel. So I'm also, after the Pat Broderick interview, I'm going to present that entire audio at the end of the episode. That'll round out the end of the episode there. Whether the audio quality is 100% perfect or not, unsure, not sure if you'll be able to hear my questions or not. That's why I'm putting it at the end of the episode, so that if you get frustrated with it or something, because there's only so much Audacity can do for us guys in terms of audio editing, but if you get frustrated with it, then at least you're not missing anything else at the end of the episode. But I want to present that to you guys anyways. I thought it was kind of cool. I'm not familiar with their run on Teen Titans, and I'm not familiar with their run on Flash so far. Mostly because I was reading Flash when Francis Manapul was doing the art and the layouts. He was exceedingly good at layouts, and I just was very curious artistically to see what he would come up with every issue. But it sounds like I was familiar enough with the comic industry as a whole, and kind of what I've heard surface about what's been going on in the Flash titles, enough to sort of carry on a conversation with the guys. So I thought it was cool. It was kind of a on the spot mini opportunity for me to moderate a panel, which was really interesting and really fun. And I hope I get to do it in an official capacity someday, so that I can, prepare and hopefully do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll have the opportunity one day. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But it was a really cool experience. Before we get to the interviews, I just kind of wanted to throw out my general impressions and experiences at the con. As a convention, its layout was very familiar to me in terms of, I've only been to, I've been to New York Comic Con. And I've been to CGS Super Show, Comic Geek Speak, which technically really isn't a convention. I mean, it is, but it's more of a show and a community gathering and stuff like that. But you've heard us go on about that in the past if you've been listening for a long time. But by and large, most of my experience has been a Wizard World Austin kind of show. And this is similar in terms of layout. You have your 501st Legion and cosplayers and stuff like that, and everything's very blocked out. There's an artist alley, there's vendors, there's celebrity areas, there's photo ops and stuff like that. So, but it was much, much larger. There was some confusion in terms of tickets, and at least in terms of getting the media passes and stuff like that. On my end, I heard there was confusion in terms of tickets for regular attendees. Not quite sure about that. As I don't have direct experience with that, I can't speak to that. And I'd rather not, just because I don't want to, maybe what I'm hearing from some other people's hearsay. I'm not sure. All I can go on is based on my own experience. Saw several familiar faces there. Saw Tom Wynn, the inker, that's been working with Monkey for a long time. And we've had him on the show before. Saw my good friend Errol C. Over there, and McLean McGuire, who runs CCP Comics, or is one of the guys that runs CCP Comics. They had their whole, it must have been 20 tables there. It was awesome. CCP just gets bigger every year, so good on them. I saw Katie Cook there. Katie Cook was there, which was really nice for me, just because she's part of my CGS crew. She's one of the few people that probably comes down to the Austin Central Texas area every now and then, enough to where I can have a touchstone to my Comic Geek Speak community. So it was really, really cool to see her. Got a couple of mini paintings from her. I got my sister to start watching Doctor Who a little bit. So I got my sister a mini painting of Katie Cook doing Amy Pond. I also got a mini painting for myself of Ragman. And got a picture with her. I also saw Scott Collins. Scott Collins has been on the show a couple of times. In terms of audio, he's one of the first people. He is the first person I interviewed for the LanternCast a long, long time ago, and we interviewed him again at New York Comic Con. So it was good to see him. Gary, I said earlier, was a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Billy Boyd, Pippin, one of the hobbits from the Lord of the Rings, was there, and we got a chance to, kind of talk with him a little bit. And on Friday when we got there, he seemed really, really tired and sort of confused when we talked to him because it was at the end of the day. It must have been a long day. And Gary had never been to a con before, so he kind of just walked up to him right without going through the line, which is fine because there was nobody really in line. But they have the whole process and stuff. And we didn't get anything that day. But we, once we clarified that we weren't going to ask for pictures or get anything signed. We just wanted to thank him for his work and stuff like that. It was really cool. The big one, though, before we talked to Billy Boyd, we talked to John Noble. John Noble, if you guys, in terms of Lord of the Rings, he was, I think, Lord Denethor in the Return of the King movie. For those who don't know the name off the top of their head but have seen the movie, he was the guy that was the steward of Gondor that was going to burn his son alive and then caught himself on fire and went running off the edge of the top of, what is that city called? Is it called Minas Tirith? Yeah, Minas Tirith. That guy. And he was there, so we talked to him. I am a Lord of the Rings fan, but I am a much bigger Fringe fan. And John Noble, if you guys ever watched Fringe, John Noble was Walter on Fringe, Walter Bishop. And I've watched and rewatched and rewatched Fringe several times. Love that. So we, Gary had never, funny little story, Gary had never been to a con like this before, and he was extremely nervous about how what are you supposed to do? Like, I don't want to be wasting his time, and, what do you say? And, so I just kind of took the lead, I guess. It was really, really surreal. Like, the only way I could describe it, because I'm never ever in this position, is like, if a friend of yours is really good at talking to girls, and you're not, so your friend's just like, just follow me, do what I do, and just play along, and starts talking them up, and then you gain enough confidence to go on from that point. I've never been in that situation, but I've heard that situation described, so I'm assuming that's what that it's like, but really, really surreal for me. But anyways, so we walked up, we went through the line, we told him we just wanted to talk to him real quick and thank him for all he's done. And then we got to speak with John Noble for like a good, 5 to 10 minutes, there on Friday evening. And we talked to him about Lord of the Rings and Fringe and his work on Elementary and, Sleepy Hollow. And he was extremely personable, extremely nice, extremely easy to talk to, and very, very, very friendly. And so much so, we told him, we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to get a photo op with you. And Gary and I split the cost of a photo op. And when we walked up on Saturday to get our picture taken with John Noble, he recognized us immediately. He made a comment about how it was, like reuniting with old friends, and put his arms around us and gave us a big, kind of each of us a big side hug. And it was really cool. And then after that, we went back. Gary has a collector's edition set, really cool hardbound set of Lord of the Rings books, and he took his, I believe it was Return of the King, may have been Two Towers, I'm not sure, to get Billy Boyd to sign, and Billy Boyd was much more awake and nice and friendly. The staff because of the media pass, allowed me to get a picture of him signing the book for Gary so that we could host it on our website and just kind of showcase the convention. So that was extremely nice of the staff. Billy Boyd was really funny and really personable as well. On Saturday, he saw me taking a picture and he was offering us mints, like peppermints and stuff like that. And evidently someone had just like kind of put a bunch of them on his desk for while he was doing autographs and stuff, and he'd been just eating them like candy all day, and he was just trying to get rid of them. And then he started talking about, well, you never know if you run across a pretty Wonder Woman or, something like that. And started talking about macking on random Wonder Women at the con, which was not in any ways crass, guys. It was just more of a friendly banter joke kind of a thing. And I said, well, this is my brother-in-law, he's marrying my sister. I can't have that going on. He's like, well, nobody has to know, just, being joking around, having a lot of fun. He was really nice. Signed Gary's book, and, I think the inscription was, how about second breakfast or something like that. And that was really cool as well. Lots of good shopping opportunities down at Alamo City Comic-Con. Some unique booths. I've never been to a convention where I saw the lightsaber booth. There was like a whole lightsaber thing, like really cool looking lightsabers. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about if you've seen this thing before, but it was really cool. Unfortunately, I'm not a big enough Star Wars fan to justify spending the money on that, but it was really interesting looking. There was a beard booth, which was really cool. They were giving away, they were doing free beard trims and shaping. It was free, but you got some. They were doing it for some gratuity, some donations as well. And it's kind of spreading the word of their company. So that was really interesting. Unfortunately, that name escapes me, so I apologize. There were some good panels I heard, especially Friday. Unfortunately, we got there late, so we didn't get a chance to go to those. The one panel we did get to go to was the Walking Dead panel, which had, oh man, I can't remember the actor's name. I want to say it's Lawrence Gillard Jr. I don't know. That's what my mind is saying, but I could be wrong. He was the guy who played Bob on Walking Dead, as well as John Bernthal, who played Shane and is going to be in the upcoming Punisher. He's going to be Punisher in the upcoming season 2 of Netflix's Daredevil. And then Michael Rooker, who was Merle on Walking Dead, as well as Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy. Mostly it was Bob for a little while talking. And then John Bernthal and Merle, Michael Rooker showed up maybe the last 10 minutes of the panel or so. A lot of really entertaining, some good information. Gary was pretty excited. We were going to go to the Villains of Arrow panel on Saturday, I believe, or Sunday. No, Sunday. And we were one of the first maybe 30 or so people in line, but unfortunately that panel was canceled. That was going to be Manu Bennett. Forgive me, I don't know. I don't have anything in front of me, so I'm not sure if I'm getting these names right. Who played Deathstroke on Arrow, as well as the guy who played Ra's al Ghul on Arrow as well. But if you've seen the news reports out of Alamo City Comic-Con, you know that Manu wasn't able to make it for extenuating circumstances, which I won't go into here because I don't think that kind of thing needs publicity until it's all worked out. So you're welcome to search that on your own. But suffice it to say, we don't know all the facts, so I'd rather not pass judgment on anybody. Was a little disappointed that we missed that panel because it was one of the two that we were really excited about. So, but things happen, and we got on with our lives. Good shopping, good artists. A lot of interesting art. Gary got a print from an artist of Mary Jane, and he got a print for himself from Philip Tan's table of Spidey and his villains, which was pretty cool. And I got a print from Philip as well of Larfleeze, which is really cool. Also did a little bit of shopping, some dollar comics here and there. Did some discount trade shopping. I got a Justice Society trade, which is on the other side of the room, so I don't want to bore you, but there was some really good art in there. Actually, no, it's not on the other side of the room, it's right here. Let me just grab it real quick. Yeah, this Justice Society trade, it's actually, let's see, what's the first issue number in this? This is Justice Society issue number, well, actually it says All-Star Comics Presents Super Squad, number 58. Not sure, let me see the copyright information in here. Originally published in single magazine form in All-Star Comics number 58 through 67 and DC Special number 29, 1976 and 1977. Yeah, so these are those issues of All-Star Comics. I read the whole thing already, and it's so much fun. I don't know how I didn't stumble across this before. Evidently, there's only 2 volumes. I couldn't find the second one. And I went to my local comic shop to see if they had it, but they didn't have it either. But it's got the writing talents of Paul Levitz and Jerry Conway, and there's art in here by Joe Staton, Keith Giffen, Wally Wood, and Rick Estrada. I mean, this is epic. I mean, this is Earth 2 Justice Society. This isn't like integrated into our Earth Justice Society. This is Earth 2 Justice Society, which Power Girl joins the team, Star Spangled Kid joins the team, and who is the other? Robin, I believe, joins the team. Hawkman doesn't have his like hawk mask. He's got like a yellow mask with like a bird insignia on it. Like there's no feathers or hawk beak on it, or it's not like a helmet or anything. It's almost like a luchador kind of mask thing. Some interesting villains I'd never heard of. There's a lot of Alan Scott and Jay Garrick and Wildcat and Dr. Fate and Earth 2 Superman and Earth 2 Batman and Dr. Midnight and the Sandman, and it's awesome. I really want Volume 2 if I can find it somewhere for cheap. So it's good stuff. Highly recommend you seek that out. But in the meantime, I've been talking for almost half an hour now, and I typically when I try and do these things, I just want to do a brief introduction so you guys don't have to listen to me yammer on before you finally get to the reason why you're listening to this episode in the first place, which is the audio interviews. But Alamo City as a whole, great location, lots of space. It was really crowded on Saturday, but not so, not unnavigatably crowded. There was. It was a good layout. There's some room for improvement. Lots of places to sit down and go to the bathroom, get a drink of water. I've been to conventions before, so I thought ahead and packed our own lunches and stuff like that, so we didn't have to pay convention prices for food and things like that. And it was everybody I talked to: Katie, Scott, Tom, Errol, McLean, Philip. Pat, everybody was extremely friendly, extremely nice. John Noble and Billy Boyd were extremely approachable. Jamie D on Comic Geek Speak, who passed away about a little over a year ago, used to say that it was always very important to, regardless of whether you're going to get a sketch or get something signed or if there's a creator or somebody that you really enjoy, it's important to go up and thank them at least for their contribution to your fandom, and how just let them know whether they accept it or not, and most of them do, but whether they accept it or not, just let them know the impact they had on you, just because you never know. And I tried to impart that lesson a little bit to Gary over the weekend. Yes, we ended up buying a photo op with John Noble, and yes, he ended up paying for an autograph from Billy Boyd, but regardless, it doesn't matter if we're not getting something signed or not saying, or not getting a picture taken with them. You know, if they play as big of a part in your fandom as they say they do, as you say they do in terms of Gary's fandom of Lord of the Rings, you know, go up and say hi and just talk to them for a minute and say thank you. And I'm glad we did, because we had a really great conversation with John Noble on Friday and Billy Boyd on Saturday. So that was a really good experience, and definitely something we won't soon forget. Yale Stewart was also there. Yale Stewart does the JL8 comic, the ones of the Justice League characters in preschool, kindergarten. I just stopped by his table and I said thank you for everything he does. He told me that there's no Green Lantern arcs coming up in the near future, so for the JL8, but you know, it's a great webcomic. I'm going to be reading it regardless of whether Green Lantern is the focus of an arc or not. And so, you know, I picked up a glossy print, small, probably like 5x6 photo print of his Hal Jordan, his rendering of Hal Jordan. And of course, we paid for that photo op with John Noble. Lots of great cosplay. I mean, it was just, overall, guys, it was a really great show. I had heard things about some issues here and there, but I kind of think that these are the things that, you know, early start to cons, you know, they happen. You know, there are no cons out there that are perfectly flawless. And as long as things continue to get better year after year, I would love to keep going. So without further ado, and without rambling senselessly any further, I wanted to go ahead and just turn us over. First, you guys are going to hear Philip Tan and I speaking on Saturday with regards to his work on Green Lantern, as well as following that you will hear the audio interview between me and Pat Broderick, referring to his work on Green Lantern. And again, if you're curious about our other conversation with regards to Ragman, you can just go over to thesudasouls.blogspot.com and read all about that if you're curious. And after the Pat Broderick interview, we'll round out the end of the episode with the audio from the Brett Booth and Andrew Dahlhaus panel. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks again to Philip, to Pat's wife, who's also extremely nice, to Brett Booth, to Andrew Dahlhaus. Shout out to Katie Cook and Scott Collins and Tom Wynn, McLean McGuire, and David Angelman, and John Noble and Billy Boyd, and the people that made the con what it was, and of course Alamo City Comic-Con as a whole. I hope to see you guys there next year. If you're in the Central Texas area, I highly recommend you attend the con, and maybe we'll see you there. So hopefully you guys enjoy these interviews, and as always, if you want to contact us, it's LanternCast@gmail.com, LanternCast@gmail.com. We also have a voicemail line. You can use that by dialing 708-LANTERN. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can find us there by searching LanternCast on either of those, or any of those. Please use the hashtag GLCast to find us on all of those, and post conversational bits with us. As always, you can find us on iTunes and Stitcher and at www.lanterncast.com. So thanks for listening, guys, and enjoy these interviews. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, guys, day 2 at Alamo City Comic-Con, and I'm sitting with Phil Tan. How you doing, sir?
Hello, man. Hey, guys. How are you? I'm Phil Tan. It's my first time here attending Alamo City Comic-Con, and, so far it's been a blast.
Awesome. Did you have a good day today? I know we just talked about it, but a lot of business these past 2 days?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's pleasantly surprising how big the show is.
Uh-huh.
And, we just had a Spawn panel, and, there were like fans that are so into Spawn that I can't imagine there are fans like that, out here in Texas.
We're everywhere.
Exactly.
Well, I wanted to ask you particularly about the Agent Orange arc, and you did all or most of the designs for the Orange Lanterns.
I can't take credit for Larfleeze because it is a team effort to create an iconic character like that. So it's Ethan and Jeff and myself. If we have to credit someone for Larfleeze, but everyone else, within the Agent Orange core, that would be all me.
Yeah. So the Agent Orange art was four issues, and I mean the art. You had the art duties on all of that. What was that like? Not only being a part of working with Jeff, but like having this essentially a core all to yourself in this massive event that was coming called Blackest Night, which became a huge success.
Well, it was absolutely scary because I do not want to be the weakest link in the big event. But joking aside though, it's very humbling and it's such a great learning experience for me working with Jeff. It allowed me to grow artistically as a creator, as a comic artist, and be able to push myself to my artistic limits. So it's one of the best experience I have working in comic books.
Well, with the core, like so, Sinestro core, they're scary guys. Typically the art is a little scarier. Red Lanterns, more monster stuff like that. Black Lanterns, they're dead, they're zombies, stuff like that. Was there any sort of direction you had in your mind for what a kind of unifying look that the Orange Lantern Corps would have? I mean, I know they were all ghosts, if you want to call them that, but otherwise, was there any sort of design element you wanted to throw in there?
Well, it's funny that you brought up that question. I mean, for me, when you have to draw the embodiment of gluttony and greed and everything that's just about me, Larfleeze has to look scary enough that you don't want him to be after something you have.
Yeah.
And if he's a character like that, he will have the best of everyone else's. So his crew can't be more flashier than he is.
Right.
They can be all sorts of creatures, but they cannot be as iconic as Larfleeze himself. And it's tough because frankly, when I first started, I have no idea how to tackle it, and I have to rely on the experiences from Jeff and Ethan and really, do rely on them to guide me in coming up with the looks and the designs and well, not the visuals itself, but at least thematically the ideas, the inspirations, and going forward with drawing the book.
Now, a lot of them had, like, one of them was a giant head, and one of them had a big mouth. It's things like, you said gluttony, an insatiable hunger, The things that define gluttony and greed kind of went into the artistic style, big mouths, stuff like that.
That was actually accidental. It was just in my mind, like, you see a lot of them has, like missing appendages or just incomplete features compared to a regular person. I mean, obviously, we all know that alien creatures could be anything, and they could perfectly be perfect in their world, and it just looks weird to us. But for me, he has to at least be less than a humanoid than Larfleeze. And that was the goal. And it was a happy accident that there were a lot of giant heads, giant belly, big mouths, and just eyes, or someone with no mouth, but with other, gigantic features. Those were happy accidents. I was lucky enough they fit into the whole thing. But the big goal was to make sure that they can't be more complete than Larfleeze, because he is the one who should own it all.
Right.
So that was what's going through my head when I was designing them.
What about the stuff that Jeff had you do outside of the Orange Lantern Corps, like the reveal that the Guardians, had Parallax in a box, stuff like that? How are those aspects for you?
They were a lot. I wouldn't say easier, but because of the amount of preparation that Jeff had me doing before that and led up to it, the transition, the flow into that part of the story was smooth. It was not as sudden as when I first got in and immediately I have to handle the whole Orange Corps.
Right. And at that point, you're coming off of a story where Hal has a blue and a green ring. What was that whole process like? You got to have him. I mean, the ring is smarting off to him. Be like, I wish you would shut up, or something like that.
Well, you know what? It's all Jeff.
Yeah.
It's I hate to sound like how everyone describes Jeff, but he is the genius that was driving the vision of that book and the concept of the whole epic saga.
Yeah.
So he really took away a lot of the burdens from us artists because he was carrying it on his shoulders, and that helped us. That helped us tremendously.
How did he direct your art then? I mean, I know that Jeff was the mastermind of Blackest Night. He had a lot of philosophy going into that, you know, how different colors interacted with one another and what they meant and stuff like that. But when he's got like this massive vision, it's got to be a little different than your standard book. Like, how was that?
Surprisingly, again, he doesn't over control us.
Yeah.
It really was a smooth transition when it comes to transferring the energy of his script, the vision that he's got in his script, into the story because of the amount of things he's already set up. It was a lot easier for the artist to go in and say, okay, there are these that has been prepared, these needs to be done, and I can rely on things that has been established before me to create this new thing.
Right.
You know, and that made things a lot easier. And I absolutely cannot say that Jeff directly, affected the artwork, but his ideas, his concept for the story, indirectly challenges, but also made us do our work in a certain way.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That makes sense. And I don't want you to speak ill out of turn, so if you don't feel comfortable answering this, you tell me. But since that, Larfleeze has become kind of a joke, like the butt of jokes and stuff like that. And in the 4 issues you did when he was introduced, you don't mess with him. Like, he is the embodiment of a core, and he is, I mean, I don't want to use the word evil, but it's all I can think of. So how do you feel about how the character has been treated since then?
Well, evil is dictated by what drives it, and the evil can be many kinds. He just happens to be the greedy kind.
Yeah.
And if there are any other directions that another writer aside from Jeff, steered him to, that I actually personally haven't read them yet.
Yeah.
But maybe it was to try and see if he can hit that spot within the audience that might like, the lighter mood or the humor that comes with a lot of the, again, happy accidents that we got from our Orange Lantern story, because he was evil, but he wasn't consciously making you laugh.
Right.
It was just the situations are so funny that it happened so naturally.
Right.
And if another creator felt like that could be an angle, I actually think they did the right thing for exploring that angle. If it didn't work, hey, just do something just do something else next time. But if you never tried it, you will never know that is an angle that might work or might not work. So I think that's the right thing to do. I do think so. I honestly think that if you never tried it, then you will never know.
That's good. Well, I wanted to thank you for taking time out to talk, but I wanted to ask you, anything you have going on right now that you'd like to promote? Anything you have going, projects that you have in the works? If people can contact you for commissions in the future through an email source or a website, what do you have going on?
Well, I'm doing a lot of covers for DC. I have a short run of Batman Beyond covers coming up, which I thought would be very different. Hopefully you guys check it out.
Yeah.
I have a image book coming out. We have no solicitation yet, but we want to make sure that we have enough material before we announce and solicit the book. It's called Heaven. It's written by James Robinson and drawn by myself. We both co-created the story and co-created the characters in the world, and hopefully the experience would be something the readers would enjoy. Another hopefully is going to be the release date, and hopefully it is January, but we're crossing my fingers.
Yeah, for those of you out there listening, James Robinson is doing this amazing thing right now called Airboy, and it's amazing. You should check it out.
I have to say, I did not do any of those.
No. But I remember a lot of people were kind of down on James Robinson over the past couple of years because of JLA and stuff like that, and then he does Airboy, and Airboy is just, have you read it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But I did not do any of those.
No, don't worry about it. Well, thank you so much again for taking the time out to get with us. And
thank you so much.
Website?
Most of the time I'm on Twitter and Facebook. That just became my official web presence.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Philip. We really appreciate it. Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. It is Sunday, day 3, 4. Technically 4. Thursday was preview night.
I didn't make that.
So day 4/3 of San Antonio Comic-Con, and I'm sitting with Pat Broderick again, but you guys don't know that. How you doing, sir?
Fine, I admire your ring.
Thank you. I actually wore it painting. As you can see, I need to get those paint flecks out of there. But whatever. My bad. Thank you. So, first and foremost, how's your con been? I know I've seen a lot of people going by. You did pretty well?
It's been good. Good con. Good people. Had a good time. Wonderful time. I've always loved Texas. Everywhere I've gone to in Texas. So hopefully we will be back again next year.
Hopefully we maintain that friendly attitude that everybody talks about when they come to Texas. Yeah. But I wanted to talk to you specifically about Green Lantern. Now, I know your run on Green Lantern was a couple of issues here, a couple of issues there. You know, when the Appa Aliopsa went bad.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to ask you about that process. You'd been on Firestorm for a while and things like that, and now you come and do Green Lantern, and it's technically, yes, a team book, but it's also established characters in their own right with Jon Stewart and stuff like that. What was that transition like?
Well, first and foremost, I've always been a Gil Kane fan, so I was very familiar with Green Lantern. Also a Neil Adams fan, so I was familiar with Neil's run on Green Lantern. So when they asked me to start the series over with them again, I was jumped at the opportunity to. And then what it was they rotated the artists depending on the characters that they were drawing. My responsibility was Hal Jordan. Joe Staten did Jon
Stewart.
With the bow cut. That'd be Jon.
The bowl cut. Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner.
Yeah, he did that guy in his Nort thing.
Yes. And I think Mark Wright did the Jon Stewart.
Right.
Okay. So it was nice being able to have the availability to, do 10 issues or 12 issues, take a little break from it, and then Joe and Mark come in, they do their time, then I come back and I do another 6 to 8 issues. My responsibility in my mind was to, basically we were dealing with Hal Jordan, who was dealing with getting his head together. He quit the Justice League, he was done with the Justice League, and he wanted to go out and find himself again. And we were able to establish a lot of new directions with it, and also a lot of old characters. One issue where Guy Gardner was involved with Hal Jordan, and the villain was the Tattoo Man. And it was a fun issue to do, and that's the thing about the characters, is they all have wonderful supporting casts.
Yeah, and I got to ask, because you said you were a big Neil Adams fan. What was it like coming on to that series, and one of the first things you're doing is have Old Timer go insane?
Yeah, it was fun. Again, like I said, I was a Neil Adams fan, but I'd worked at Continuity, and Neil was one of the first people that had taken me under his wing. So I was able to study under the man. The Guardian losing his mind was, I felt, a very intriguing storyline, which eventually led into the setup for Mosaic, exactly. Led into the setup for the Mosaic. So it was just all good. It was all good. Bruce Patterson was my anchor. We turned out, I felt, some very well illustrated and polished stories. And as you can see from my prints and things, I still love the characters.
For sure. Now, you said that people were in charge of different characters, you being Hal and the others splitting them up. Is that why when you came back for because there's kind of odd. There were a couple of one-shot type issues. There was, what was the character right before Star Sapphire? Flicker,
yeah.
Flicker. What can you tell me about Flicker? I'm not familiar with that. Was that something you designed? Was that something you designed, or was that recent?
Originally I designed, but the writer, Just at the end of the day, my brain's having a hard time. The writer of the series came up with the character, and he was basically a bounty hunter, and that actually introduced Hal to characters that were later going to become the new Green Lantern, the Green Lantern Corps. So it also allowed me to design some Green Lantern characters that also exist to today. And I enjoyed it. I know I'm repeating myself, but for me, coming into the industry, probably just like all the other artists, all the other writers, we start off as fanboys. And I will publicly and proudly state that I'm still a fanboy today. I just love the industry. So working with the Flickr story was very interesting. The stories that I felt most connected with was like the first 8 issues. We had a good solid team. My second run on it, Bruce Patterson was an inker. I had Romeo Tangal, who's also a wonderful inker. And I get kind of, the creative team kind of becomes like a family to me, And it's kind of hard when you're in this creative industry and sometimes the family busts up, due to either editorial decisions or to opportunities that may be offered down the road. Like I said, since we were on rotation, something else might come up and suddenly, we have a member of the family that has left. And it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment.
One final question about the Green Lantern, because, there's only so many issues that you did. I wanted to ask about the Star Sapphire stuff, because that was... Sapphire has had a history of being sometimes semi-lucid, sometimes being insane, in this case insane. And you said breaking up the family. What was that? Because that was kind of your exit on that. So what was that? What was those 3 issues like for you?
It was kind of a sad scenario for me because I knew at the end of the story run I was leaving because other projects were being offered. And I knew Star Sapphire's history, Carol's history with Hal from the beginning as a fan. I kind of hoped that the woman would get her head straight, eventually. Basically, I kind of hoped she would get her head straight.
Yeah. Yeah, it never happened for her. Well, much later on.
Yeah.
All right, well, it was short, but I wanted to thank you so much for it. It was a great run of books, especially, you came back with a number 1, and it was right out of the gate. It was awesome, especially coming off of Firestorm. It was a nice transition for a Firestorm fan to have.
It was. I liked it.
It seemed like it was something for fun. Like it wasn't a steady long run.
Yeah.
But it was like you like these characters and you get to play in that world.
Yeah, and I felt that it showed it in the book. I mean, we put out a good quality product, and the sales backed it up. I mean, the fans supported it, so it was good. It was good.
Well, I wanted to thank you for taking the time out, and thank you again for everything I've said it already to you several times throughout this con, but thanks for everything you've done for it. And fandom in general. But before I let you go, anything you want to promote? Your website, how people can contact you?
Yeah, my website, www.patbroderickart.com. I've been exploring the folklore of the ancient Sumerian gods. So I have 4 issues up, and that are the creation lore, basically Nibiru and the legend of the Anunnaki, and also a very nice cover gallery, and I could be contacted through that site. Also, I'm on Facebook, and I do have an upcoming project, but right now I'm under a non-disclosure agreement. But I can say that it's a different direction for me in the stories I've done before, because I'm doing a series on the mob in Chicago in the 70s. And should have the first script ready for me when I get back.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to fresh Pat Broderick artwork.
And as soon as I get the freedom to show the samples, I'll be popping them up on Facebook. But it's a mob hitman with a twist.
Awesome. Can you say the publisher or no?
No, not yet. I'm doing it for a creative house out in California.
Okay.
And they've negotiated with a publisher, and they are a well-known publisher, but I can't say anything about that until Obi Company, it's Obico, until they make the announcement first.
Got it. All right. Well, we'll just keep an eye out.
All right.
Thank you so much for your time.
And say hello to Shag for me.
Will do. It's the only way I got this interview.
Reading Teen Titans?
The things that Teen Titans and there wasn't a lot of panic.
I guess because that's the last thing they thought we were working on was Teen Titans.
Yeah.
You're on Flash now, right?
We're on Flash now, yeah.
You take over right after.
Francis?
Yes.
It was probably I think we stopped at 25.
Yeah, Francis stopped, but Brian was still writing. Brian was
was still writing, and I took over at 30.
I haven't read Flash in a long time, but I like what Francis is doing with the way.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful stuff.
The way he just
Incorporates the logo. And,
yeah.
Yeah, no, I love his stuff.
Yeah.
So.
It had like a James Bond opening feel to it. Was it Campbell did that with Danger Girl? Incorporated the logo and did the weird opening stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
No, it's a classic thing to do. And they did it in a lot of old comics, I remember.
Yeah.
So. So go ahead. What do you want to know? Just shut up. Obviously, Sinestro.
Sinestro, or
I was actually offered Sinestro.
Yes.
you were offered the Sinestro solo title?
A while ago.
I told him to do it, but he didn't want to do it.
Sinestro wasn't in.
He wasn't in it. Yeah, the first 7 issues he wasn't in it. So.
Go ahead, keep going.
So there wasn't any. So there was no Sinestro. So I was like, I haven't drawn him before. Hello, how are you?
All right, sir. I'm glad to meet you again.
Yes, nice to see you too.
I'm a big fan of yours.
So it's small and cozy. So if you guys have questions, just go right ahead.
They offered you the Sinestro title, but you turned it down.
Yeah, well, he wasn't in it. I was like, I'm not gonna draw Sinestro without Sinestro in it. No, he was the Gale Lantern.
It was sort of like the Sinestro core.
He was gonna come in eventually.
Oh.
But at the core, he wasn't gonna be part of it. He was a Green Lantern at the time.
Yeah.
So that was like the first draft. There's always multiple drafts. I read a couple Booster Gold pitches a couple years ago. I learned pitches. Like, hey, you got anything? Hey, we got this. You want to read it? You read it? Yes or no? I like that. I don't like that. If we change this, will you do it? That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That story was. I just started at DC. I had done. I dragged Andrew with me. I had done. What was it? Full Tales of Blackest Night. You know, Eddie Berganza. I was like, hey, can you do these 2 8-pagers for me? On Tales of Blackest Night with the Scarecrow, Power Girl Huntress story. And then, while I was just started the Power, I did the first issue of the pages. I did it in a week because I hadn't worked at DC or Marvel or any big company, make a good impression. So I busted my butt, turned it in a week. They gave me the Power Girl Huntress thing. 2 days after I started that, Eddie emails me and he says, "Hey, would you be interested in drawing this? Contact him because I have no idea who Laura Fleet is." He's like, "Who's Laura Fleet?" And he's like, "Should I do this?" And he's like, "Yes." Something about an oath that no one knows about, or something like that. The Orange Lantern oath.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll have that in there. And so I started working on that. I got 3 pages. We did the first 3 pages for a while. And then, hey, why don't we do? I was supposed to do a Jade's one-shot after that. And it turned out, I was like, hey, when do you get the plot? He's like, yeah, soon. And then 20 minutes later, he goes, hey, change the plans. We're not doing the Jade thing anymore. Oh, okay. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just Googling some stuff. And he's like, Google gorillas. I was like, no! Because I was like, I'm going to have to draw a bunch of gorillas from Gorilla City. And that's exactly what it was. It was the Starman Kong Gorilla special. So not only I draw gorillas from Gorilla City, I draw Kong Gorilla.
They were in JLA at the time.
Yeah, so, but I got to work with James Robinson, which was a lot of fun. And I started drawing that. They're like, hey, I want to take over Justice League of America. Okay.
So in fact, the Lar Fleece cover was actually something we did on.
Yeah.
Eddie saw it and was like, we want
I hadn't
that.
drawn the
They
character.
used
I
it for
had never drawn the character before.
The one with the Christmas tree?
Not the Gene Ha one. There's the other one that we did.
It was yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
How'd you pick for the Untold Tales?
I emailed him.
Scarecrow? Or...
I don't know. I emailed him.
Yeah.
I was like, I had no idea what any of that was. I hadn't read any like comics in like 10 years. So Akin was like, "What's this Untailed Blackest Night?" Rattling it all off because he's reads all the stuff in my database.
I'm a pro that still reads
He's like
comics.
Google, yeah.
Most pros don't read comics anymore. I still do, so I keep up with it. I think they put him on the 8-pager because it's the easiest thing to transition back into. It's not full issue.
Yes, it happens.
Well, I guess it was an easy thing because it was available and you wanted to put him on.
It might have been a story that we need to get the story done for this book that's supposed to go out in a couple of weeks. I just emailed you.
They always list certain artists and they say various. So he was one of those various.
all the stuff for the Larpy special?
Yes.
Recipes and stuff? How was that?
I didn't do that. That was Jeff's recipes.
Well, like the art
for it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The only thing we didn't do is there was supposed to be another page. We did the majority of that book in like a week and a half. I'm like, I'm at the shop getting my car fixed, and I'm drawing on the side of the road because I'm waiting. So they asked me, is there anything we can do, each story, Glomulus story at the end. I wanted to draw, but I wasn't going to be able to.
It was, Art Franco.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so I was like, well, there's this ornament page. I'm not going to be able to do that. So they just took some of the art that I had already done and just put it on the art. Everything else, a maze, the original maze, he didn't like it. I'd drawn it all out by hand. And he's like, I turned it in. And he's like, could you do something that looks more like the Larfleeze symbol? So I actually made that on the computer. I created the maze in Photoshop. Characters that I had drawn on the other page and put them on that page. Because it has the abominable snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Rangers.
Oh, is that the page I had?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was worried that I was like, Warner Brothers owns this, right? And so I Googled it to make sure. I was like, I should be able to get away with that. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
One of the background comics.
I used to do that stuff all the time. They don't do that anymore. It's sad. Like every now and then you have like Peter Parker kind of walking in the back of the Daily Planet or something, vice versa.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. In the Wildcats issue, Jim did Martin and Voodoo go on. So it's just like a couple panels on a page. That's it. That was funny. And stuff that we can't do anymore because of the copyright infringement laws and all these.
I was saying at the same time.
Yeah, the Valentine's Day.
Valentine's issue.
A Rage Kitty Valentine's Day. So,
yeah.
And it never happened.
That wasn't. I read somewhere that was based on his cat.
Yeah, he did the original.
Yeah, it was based on his cat. So he should be doing that.
Shark Team Alive.
I actually wanted to do one with Glomulus and Kid Flash. No, they accidentally kill Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's right.
Glomulus.
Or Glommy does it.
Something like that, but Bart's there, and so Bart takes the reins of the sleigh, and he runs around the world, so Glomulus can deliver all the presents. That was the story. It's supposed to be just totally not serious and fun.
I don't know. I love watching Kid Flash. It's bad, and the only thing I like about Flash, you can go. I don't know.
Hello. It's very small and intimate.
We're just asking random questions. Time. Like, the guy from Back in the Future, that's the only thing I like about Flash. He can go in time, and he's not like about the Flash. He can do everything to do it. But
Very good.
the only sad part I don't like, mom get killed. That's the only sad part about it.
Yeah, that was brought retconned in.
Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff with the Flash Rebirth.
Said before that?
Yeah. She was actually in some of the issues.
I was watching the Flash TV show and everyone was alive.
The original one?
The original one. It's kind of weird to see.
His dad.
He had a brother, and
yeah, that wasn't in the original.
no.
That was.
Joe? Joe, really?
Yeah.
How was that? Because everybody
Nah.
did.
I wish we could have done things a little differently, but I only have so much control.
Yeah.
I really would like to give some past, but red hair was the thing, yeah. And the thing is, when they originally asked me,
I was still around. Yeah.
I think it's because the Fairy works better as a television show than Wally. Because you have the whole CSI aspect of Fairy. Wally doesn't have any of that. He's just a superhero.
Yeah. He didn't have a day job.
No, he wasn't. He was rich initially.
He was rich
like,
initially,
10
yeah.
issues until his money was embezzled and stuff.
At one point, wasn't his...
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
he was
it
a
is
public
public,
super-
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you
no,
meant his kids, because I didn't like his kids.
I'm pushing for stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't like those kids. And I loved Wally West, so I hated the kids story.
Well, I don't like his kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
think they kind of shoved them on us because
yeah.
they didn't gradually grow up. They just, like, she came from the future with, she, like, went to the future or something.
Usually when they do
With
that,
the
the kid
babies
starts
and-
out as a baby, and then
Yeah.
it comes back in the future as an adult.
Yeah.
That's the normal way. The normal way of doing it. Exactly, like cable.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the kids. That's why they didn't stick around very long.
Well, not the kids, but
Yeah.
Max Mercury and Jay Garrick. Like,
Oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Wally was the Flash. There was more of that.
Yeah, I'm trying pushing them towards more of that kind of stuff.
Well, hopefully they'll do it because they're bringing in the whole kitchen sink in season 2 of the TV show. I mean, everyone's in that.
And I was like, oh, excited.
Yeah, everyone's in that. So Jay, Jesse Quake, Wally, they even bring in Patty, and so
Oh, Patty Smith.
yeah.
She's going to be a police officer though.
Was that kind
Dude,
of relationship?
Marcus Francis and Brian Grazer.
But,
They wanted to shake up the relationship things, so yeah.
but classic Superman and Lois are coming back. They're in the New 52. The whole convergence thing.
Oh, like there's...
They ended up, and they're like
Batman
hiding in the New 52. And that's the book that Lee Weeks and Dan Jurgens are doing. The Lois and Clark Superman that's coming out. That's what it's all about.
Because I know that Lois, for those
Yeah.
days, Superman is now...
Shocking! I did not know that. Even though I read on
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Like, I mean, it's a good thing his parents are dead, so there's no one for bad guys to go after. I mean, if Ma Kent was still around, she'd be kind of pissed off
Jimmy
about it.
Olsen is screwed now.
Oh yeah.
I know you guys don't do the right...
I think it's always been fairly editorial
Yeah.
at Marvel and DC.
From the stories I've heard,
The creators, they have the free reign, but you have to basically get to prove your worth with them. And then there's certain things, because these aren't just they're corporate
stockholders.
You can't mess up the status quo
Yeah.
too much. It's like they'll let you screw around with it a little bit, but it has to kind of go back, just in case. You know, when they kill Batman, he's dead a year. And I mean, oh, he's back in time, and he's coming back.
Yeah, that's why everything always reverts back.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Rogers is not going to be an old man forever before.
Yeah, eventually he'll become.
Eventually, the super serum is going to do something miraculous.
I think
make
that was
him young
that
again.
was the one thing
So,
with Wally West that made him so special. He was the one character that took over and didn't get shoved back, and the other one brought back. Barry had the best death in superheroes.
well, he stayed dead for longer than anyone else. I mean,
Used to be nobody stayed.
and I mean, it was a ghost in that when Spider-Man died and Doc Ock took over. I mean, Peter was in heaven or something talking to him. He wasn't technically, but he was in the book. Yeah.
The character back in...
And they've even figured out how to not keep Jean Grey dead, but keep her dead at the same
He was
time.
supposed to be dead for a while.
Well, he was the longest dead character.
Yeah, he was a long time.
Technically, Jean Grey is dead, but not dead. So, well, no, they brought her from the past, and she's in the current timeline.
Yeah, the original X-Men.
Like 2 Icemen, 2 Beasts, 2 Cyclopses.
It's
Bills.
because Cyclops is a dead man.
Iceman in the past is gay, but Iceman in the future isn't. It's really weird. Yeah.
What's that do? The whole...
Well, Jean Grey kind of like called him out. She like outed him to himself. She like read his mind and was like, "You're gay." He's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, he was kind of pissed off about it because it was the teenage Jean Grey. It was weird.
Panels to Teen Titans. I didn't read
The television show?
those.
No.
The show or the just... Are they still doing that?
They're doing the Teen Titans Go.
Well, no. I mean,
The television, they're supposed to be doing a show.
Titans live action. Yeah, the action one.
Yeah, they talked about it, but
No, they started, they did like pre-production, and they're working on the script over the summer.
scripts.
I heard,
Sci-fi or something?
No, TNT.
There you go.
just waiting on how to go and to read the first drafts. There might be some issues. You never know. I don't know who that. I heard that they're going. From what I read, that they're going with the original Mark Wolfman one. Those were. I don't know if it's all of them, but I'm sure they'll probably.
I'm sure Cyborg won't be in there.
Cyborg probably won't be in there.
He won't be in there because they don't want to. Probably don't want to. Since he's gonna have a movie and stuff.
So Green Lantern, they keep dropping.
Yeah, they drop the hints, but
They
they
might
probably
have Hal
won't do.
Jordan, but not Green Lantern.
Or if they do anything, it'll be Guy Gardner, not Hal Jordan. Yeah, they're just hinting at that, but they're not gonna. It'd be really expensive to do. Well, the numbers on TNT doesn't have to be the same as CBS.
That's true.
CBS, they're going to need at least 10 million. TNT can survive on 2 million or 3 million.
Constantine was doing like as well, if not better, than the Flash.
Right, but it was on.
It's on
It's on NBC.
Yeah, the network considered it fairly
Yeah.
fair numbers.
Yeah.
For girl?
No,
No.
He's,
Well, I know. I mean, up here, you get up here, but
here, no, I think
No,
it's
because the
shows
CW
are-
president said they're not doing any more superhero TV shows over there. Doesn't want it to become the DC channel.
I wouldn't mind
So-
that, but
yeah.
I do understand. You know.
He wants to go back to their roots of being a vampire.
Well, Vampire Diaries is a good show. And the originals is better than the Vampire
That's
Diaries.
what I heard.
Yeah, the original's a lot better because it doesn't have the teeny bopper drama and music and crap, so it's a lot better. It's more mature than Vampire Diaries. But the mythologies
You need to bring
that
back
they have
Forever
is
Night.
very good, though.
Forever Night.
It has a good mythology on Vampire Diaries, the show. And how they're made and how they explain witches and werewolves and everything. Yeah.
Sparkle.
Yes. I insulted when I first watched Twilight, we felt it was a pilot for a CW show, and then I saw Vampire Diaries, and I take it back. Like, Twilight's a lot worse than CW show.
Like Anne Rice kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anne Rice is
Like,
Did you like
when it gets brutal in violence. It's very graphic, too.
not the latest book, the movie? Tom Cruise won the other one.
Queen of the Damned?
Yeah,
It's got a great soundtrack.
Yes,
I
it
like
does.
that movie.
I mean, it's a guilty pleasure.
It is.
don't hate
I watched
like
it the other
everything
day.
else, but it's not that great.
I don't hate it. I rewatched it. It's good. They have a lot of elements from the book in there. It's just, it was 2 books crammed into 1 hour-and-a-half movie. Yeah, and Rice's son is writing the screenplay.
Anne Rice is working on
That might be there.
Yeah. Her son is writing this. I think they're going to do The Vampire Lestat or something as the first. I love that book. That was a good book. Very interesting. I always want to see Lestat's mom. That's just kind of very dysfunctional woman. She's a horrible mother.
I love the breadth of this kind of
Yeah, I talked about dinosaurs for an hour earlier, so
book.
that was good. It was fun. Apparently, in Hallie they took Ankylosaurus was the favorite dinosaur by 3 votes. Ankylosaurus, it's the tub-tailed one. Like Cretaceous.
Well informed
I
by here.
wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid.
Okay, what's the end of the Stegosaurus tail called?
Say what?
What's the end of the Stegosaurus tail called? You know what it is.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What is it called?
Thagomizer.
No, I don't know that.
It's a Thagomizer. It's from a Far Side cartoon. No one, it didn't have a name until someone said, "Oh, it's called it a thag." So the paleontologists thought it was funny, and they called it a Thagomizer.
You haven't read the Teen Titans comics?
No.
No.
Like, interesting. If I've never.
I haven't read the current
Yeah.
series.
No, I know. But there's back.
Well, that's what I do is digital or DC. I did DCBS until my wife told me to stop buying comics, so I went digital. So
It
now I
wasn't
just still buy
$4.
iPad.
It was $2.99. There you go.
Well, I can go back issue guys here. I'm sure we'll find some.
Well, it's $2.99 if you wait 2 months. It drops $1. Yeah, they're like $1.99 on Comixology. First issue is 99 cents.
Also,
And character designs. That was at the very beginning of the
thing.
Yeah. So Jim couldn't handle all the designs. It was too done Superboy, and so they said, "Hey, can you
I think
decide
you
what
did
we
like
wanted?"
the 20 designs for her.
Right?
She had
No.
No.
Who's that one? No,
No, we finally decided, well, let's put her in like these. Like, God didn't want to go with the Greek mythology, so I did these gauntlets and stuff, messing with a couple things because my gauntlets are from Triton and Hagen's father. So just to kind of, we're having these horrible arguments about the costume, not give her costume. hate doing that, but Superboy has a costume in this, so we're not just giving him a t-shirt and jeans again. He has a costume that Jim designed, so Scott wants to go something completely different. The last costume and the Wonder Woman costume. Or DC's having a big pitch meeting, drawing this initial piece that was just supposed to be for the pitch meeting that they used for all the ads. Wonder Girl had this idea for a costume, and he sends me the design. Basically, kind of cross between similar to like spandex part. Yeah, it was just a red spandex. He wanted to change that. Even like Wonder Woman's kind of bust cut, and I was like, go across the top. And that's basically where the costume came from. It was like a last minute decision off the Jim. Jim, is this okay? Can we go with this? It was just for the pitch meeting, so we're like, it's not that big a deal. And Andrew colors it up in like 30 minutes right before the meeting starts. Jim emails me afterwards. Oh, I love this stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking about changing Red Robin's wings because I didn't really like them. But Scott wanted wings and I wanted a cape, and I kind of trying to figure out a fairly decent compromise. But I didn't think what I wanted to do with it. I was like, no, I like him. Keep him. So I got
feathers. It reminded me of a story. I was like, I wonder if someone's asking for more.
No.
Feathers on Red Robin.
Just a ruler.
Well, they've evolved, like, how they looked initially. They're a lot longer, and they don't feathery like they did in that promo.
That's the first time I drew them. So
Yeah.
Originally, he was supposed to have the cowl. Red Robin was supposed to have the cowl.
Everything modified. Kid Flash's costume was modified, and
everything modifies. And as you draw it, it modifies too. The line doesn't quite work with head shaped. So you can make this.
Funny thing about that is no one, because they were designed separately, no one really realized until afterwards that everyone has a red in their costume.
Yeah,
the colors, like everyone pretty much had red, so that's why Bunker kind of stood out.
Yeah, we did like 10 different versions of Bunker.
Yeah. So
colors on that guy. Because that was Scott did the design. Scott created the basic design. I messed around with it a little bit. I sent it in to Jim. Jim's like, maybe we do kind of stuff here and there, and look, no, it's okay. So we kind of went with that. Like, well, we can change the costume later because it's like the costume his mom made, so it's not to beat that. Perfect. And I think actually what Kenneth Rutherford actually turned in on his run of Titans actually worked way better. So
Bunker's costume?
Yeah. He managed to basically pull in what nobody else, everybody's kind of grasping for stuff at the time, and he managed to kind of pull it all together. And that's, a lot of times with the costume designs are. A little bit here, a little bit there. Maybe a little bit. Oh, yeah. It's
for the longest time, I think, the first 7 issues, Kid Flash basically had a homemade costume, then he stole Red Robin's.
Yeah, that was my
first
idea.
Costume. Yeah.
That was my idea.
He stole that from Robin's cloth. That's what he wore until his powers went all wonky, and he got this current costume from Static.
Yeah.
Static's costume for some.
Scott wanted to make that a running gag where he never actually gets a costume.
He just kept stealing other people's
old costumes and modifying them. Well, basically, it's a little. It's kind of similar, but a little different.
Well, Starfire, she wasn't a teenager anymore, and so that's why they could explore all the...
Well, like the character changes to see.
Oh, okay.
Did Batman die?
Well, they didn't know each other. That's the thing. That's going back, basically, because originally, Scott and I...
2001 was them all coming together.
Yeah.
Originally, when they asked me about this, we weren't sure if we were going to do 101 or with the new series or just continue the old series. Scott had actually written a great script about there, and then they were basically understanding. And then something happens in San Francisco, but then it was a great script. And but then they decided they wanted to do the loves to think out of the box and do different and weird things with the characters. Sometimes it's well received, sometimes it's not. Basically, you're taking these characters that have been friends that everybody expects to be friendly to each other and knows each other. Basically, shows them all back together, and nobody knows anybody. And then the old school Titans fans are expecting them to basically just immediately bond and have friendships again. These are the characters, so their interactions are going to be different.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Sold 102,000 copies. So
it came together as a team. Like reading that book, working on it, reminded me of X-Men 2099, where they never really, as a team, they just kind of sort of happened to always be around each other. And
by the time that issue 7 came around, they rescued Superboy. They were kind of ended that. They were kind of a team, and then Culling took place and off of the book for a couple months to do this annual I start the culling off, which someone else was supposed to originally draw, but I guess couldn't draw.
I haven't gone to school once.
I don't think Tim Drake needs to go to school, but some of the other ones, yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
It's coming up. Like, what can you? I mean,
Of the Rogues, there's 3 issues.
Rogues will be showing up after 47. Most of them.
Most of them, yeah. Yeah. I think they've ever had them all together, except for
They just have a
like
miniseries.
Forever Evil.
No, they had a miniseries, a Rogues miniseries or something like that.
Yeah.
Resident 52, Flash.
Yeah, I
Rogue
believe
War,
so.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, the only Rogue story they did was during Forever Evil. They had a Rogue story.
No, there was one before that.
Well, I'm talking like before.
Oh, I don't remember.
Much easier for that cover that I have to draw.
That,
That's really all I.
Yeah,
That's all I know.
that's all you know.
I think I'm starting issue 46 next week.
The Zoom Army 7.
So,
Rogue's Arc is 3 issues. After that, I don't know what's going on. That takes it to 50, so it'll be from 51 on.
Yeah. Yeah, once a year.
Flash annual coming up?
We just had one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Flash Annual 4. Only did the cover on that
I'm
one.
trying to think what the number was. So, yeah.
Or to miss a Teen Nightwing, but I miss Teen Titans more than I. That's the bad thing about digital. Like, I buy them as they come out, but I don't read them as I buy them. So my iPad is full of books I need to read. Not really superhero books, the spy book. Well, all the stuff he didn't do as a superhero is a lot of sexual. It's basically James Bond with Dick Grayson. So right now,
On Young Mash.
I sure did.
And are you not bringing Young Justice back? Because I love the cartoon. I love the.
I just watched like the first half of the last season the other night. No, they're probably not going to bring the cartoon back. It's just if they do bring something in, it'll be something new. It's been too long, really. Although unless it's something like with the Young Justice Go or Young Justice Went. Yeah, that's the reason that kind of stuff just generally that doesn't happen. It might, but the sales never were really.
I like that Legion cartoon.
The
They
viewer
canceled
ratings.
that.
Young Justice is extreme.
About the toys.
It's always, yeah,
So
that's the problem.
Well, Green Lantern the animated.
the first season I didn't like. Second season was a vast improvement on the first one.
But they never really.
Like the Legion cartoon, they had.
Oh,
No, they had one where they had that Superboy in it, and
It wasn't horrible, but yeah.
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 Did you see that Gods and Monsters?
I did see that.
Oh, it was
and I was
great.
like, that's
Oh.
actually super.
Much darker than you expect, but it was really good. I watched it like 3 times. Yeah.
Well,
I've seen it too.
the Batman Harley Quinn thing made me shudder when I watched it online. I was like, oh. Brett hadn't seen those yet because it wasn't on the DVD, I guess.
Yeah, the Superman thing.
No, like the stuff they put on Machinima.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
it was on the DVD.
No. I didn't see it.
You didn't see those previews, like where Superboy.
No, I did. I
Oh.
think Superman with
The kid, that like actually made me want to tear up.
I didn't know what was going on. I was like, this is not Superman. And then I realized when I was watching the movie.
It was God's kid.
That makes sense.
It was very depressing, that thing with him and the kid in the bubble. Yeah.
Superman.
No, he killed him.
He killed him.
He brainwashed.
No,
No, it's an alternate universe. It's Zod's kid.
Zor-El, it's Zod's kid.
Yeah, and Batman is a vampire.
He's Kurt Langstrom.
Chris Langstrom,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's
So instead of becoming Man-Bat, he becomes Batman.
Yeah, he becomes.
I thought that was kind of a cool twist.
Yeah, who's Wonder Woman? Because I haven't.
Wonder Woman is
Obscure Becca from New Gods.
Becca from New Gods.
Oh, that's right. She had the new guy.
Sinestro right now.
Yeah.
As a Sinestro.
Oh, is she? Oh, I didn't.
On Sinestro.
Huh?
On Sinestro
It's
reading.
good. I didn't like the art at first, and then the whole kind of
It was Dale?
because it's darker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then Rags and then Brad.
Throughout each time it changed, I was like,
The bad guy.
yeah, it works.
But he's
He
not
works
a
the-
bad guy.
When his daughter works stuff out.
No,
She's not even over for Father's
I
Day
don't,
and
I don't,
stuff.
I don't know what I can spoil.
Oh, you go ahead. I don't care about
She's
spoilers.
in Sinestro for right
Oh, really?
now. He gave her.
So, I saw the preview for the issue coming up, and some kid got a ring, so you don't have to instill fear to become a member anymore?
No,
Oh, okay. Because it seemed like he was innocent and scared.
it's a she, but yeah.
Oh, that. Just the Sinestro Corps is the only Lantern Corps running around right now.
So
wait.
At the end of that series, it was White Lantern.
No, I was reading Lobo, and Sinestro hired Lobo to go and kill. He was wiping out the Purple Lanterns, the Nut guys.
I haven't read this.
Yeah, he killed the Nut, the guy with the
Monk?
Yeah, he killed.
The chip thing?
Yeah, he killed him, and he's going after the leader. Yeah, Sinestro hired him to go wipe them out because of the whole draining the reservoir thing. Yeah, and Cullen is writing that one too.
Cullen's doing really good.
Couldn't get that issue. He just did a issue of Sinestro.
You didn't like my design.
You don't like Billy Tan's relic?
What was your design?
He looked more
He was
alien.
more like a centaur. He actually was like they wanted him to look like an alien. So, or I guess they told me they wanted an alien from another universe. So I kind of went. I had it so his torso could come off, separate from his legs. Kind of those old and so you have like I think he has something underneath that insect-like, much more alien. I'm out of ideas. I need more.
Any images of them? Like
I have them on a couple on my computer.
Maybe they publish them as also.
I have
probably in the trade.
Yeah.
A lot of character designs. It's just like they don't give you anything like that. They're so cool, and it's so vague, and he turns to dope. And like, yeah, just update it and make him look cool. So I updated and make him look cool. Like, oh no, he's supposed to be from a horror movie. Like, well, gee, thanks for not telling me that until afterwards.
These are two
So I had
designs
to
when I watched
redid
the
it.
video.
The Blue Devil was a definite change.
Yeah.
The way he used to be, for sure.
Dr. Fate was pretty cool, except for the color.
They used
Yeah,
it, but
they
his
colored.
design
I had
are
colored on blue.
in the Lara design.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Not blue.
Who designed?
I think that was
With the Flash.
No, Alan Scott.
Oh, you mean the one? The one.
Earth 2. On the Earth 2 title.
I think that was.
He redesigned that
When
one?
Nicholas Scott was
I didn't
drawn,
notice.
right?
Yeah. It was like it was more like.
I think Joe Prado drew that one. I think that's Joe Prado's design. Yeah, that'd be fun. Although some of the costumes I have a problem with now. I don't think I can draw that.
Unless you do Justice Society in the 40s, you have to change those costumes.
I guess.
That's Jim's. Yeah, I didn't like the helmet either.
Nicola doesn't like the helmet either.
No one likes the helmet.
She tried to change it.
We've all tried to change the helmet, and I think the new guy actually changed it.
He did change the helmet, yeah.
I'll say.
Have you ever seen it like it's
Jorge,
Alright, yeah.
helmet where it's like elongated
Well,
or something?
I thought it'd be more influenced by the god. It's kind of weird because like he got the powers and that's the suit that appeared, which
He literally gets the powers from
yeah, you thought it'd have more Roman influence in the. This looks like a superhero costume, not something a god would wear. So yeah.
I turned it into design for that.
Well, after like he did the majority of everything after the first.
arc.
Yeah, not even just the first
I did
issue.
I
Basically.
got Atom Smasher, Hawk Girl,
Oh, yeah, Adam Smasher was more.
Operator 8 guy,
Sandman. Did you do the Sandman?
Solomon Grundy.
Solomon Grundy. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
skeleton. Oh,
The rot, the Avatar of the Rot. Or
They
something.
never colored him quite right because like, they never looked at any corpses. It's like the whole point of him is he was supposed to.
The coloring he turned in was disgusting. He's had like pink and purple and yellow rotted parts all over.
Like,
They colored him
like
gray.
Grundy's traditional.
They colored him gray. I think, oh, come on, man.
Well, I mean, Nicola drew it with
she drew
the
the spot. It
spots
just was
that's supposed to be there, just didn't color it.
Dr. Fate.
Slightly darker gray spots.
Dr. Fate was supposed to have a blue outfit because of the royal blue of Egypt. Funny, but not the same. But apparently,
What did you
no.
do? Was that a pre-existing?
Yeah,
Escape
she
me.
did.
A couple more. And then,
Catwoman.
I did a Catwoman. I think that's why. That's what it was. I didn't Catwoman in, and I based her kind of Catwoman costume because she was with Batman. There were 2 Batman Catwomans. Turned it in, and they're like, oh no, we want to go with the face mask from the television series. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And they're like, what? Yeah, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I think get someone else to do that. I'm not going to make characters. She hasn't had that costume in like 30, 40 years. So why should we go back to that? It's just like a step back.
Did you do the newer?
Nicola did Wonder Woman.
I like that Batman costume.
I don't mean the first.
Oh, you mean no? That was Andy Kubert, I believe. Red one,
The
black and red. The one they did Grayson one. Valzar.
Yeah.
I was like, when I started doing Flash, I think all the character design.
Did you Red Tornado? The lowest Red Tornado?
Did a Red Tornado design for Teen Titans spin-off book that we never used. But
that's pretty much just a female Red Tornado. They didn't really do much change to it, at all. So
Or Finn. We haven't had a chance. Yeah, go ahead.
Are you going to do
I would love to. And I've asked them to do the Flash of 3 Worlds. I've asked them,
Jake
Wally
Garrett.
West, Jake Garrett, and Barry Allen.
Oh, okay.
Because the Wally,
like the crime syndicate.
technically the Wally that came back in time for the Future's End is not part of that Future's End world. If you actually look at the world, there's nothing destroyed.
Yeah.
Well, that Wally is a meta. He doesn't get his powers from the Speed Force.
Okay.
The issue with Francis Barry was running. He goes, "Oh, you're not tapping into the Speed Force. You're not."
That's
the
Bart.
Speed Force.
Not Wally. Not
Wally.
that
Sorry.
guy.
Yeah.
Not that guy. I wanted to have multiple Flashes just from the different worlds because they don't. The classic Flash issue. I was like, well, it's if the multiverse is opening up, why can't we play with the? As far as I don't know.
No.
I mentioned
I was. I kind of thought they were going to make Future Flash Cobalt Blue, but they didn't. Probably because
I was hoping they were going to keep that a secret along with it.
But then they didn't. Yeah.
One issue. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, I was hoping.
Build up the suspense a little bit.
Yeah, I was hoping for sure, but I guess it would be kind of on the nose with the blue. I don't think they'll do Cobalt Blue. I don't think it'll be Barry's twin if they do it.
Yeah, that's a cool idea, but I don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah, and he had that weird wing logo thing. Yeah.
The John Wesley Ship series.
Oh, yeah.
Cobalt Blue is.
Oh, is that what they called him?
They called it Cobalt Blue, but he was supposed to.
Go walk around.
Yes. Hunter, can I ask you a question? Are Batman and the Flash, are you going to be one of those?
I have asked, and they said no.
It's up to editorial.
Yeah, I think getting Batman out of the Batman office right now, unless it's like Justice League or just like a few issues. Because I think, look, one of them's a detective, and one of them works with friends and have good friends. And the office is necessarily that. It's at the Batman office. They like to keep moving. Batman, Superman. There was Batman's flying this weird device and make it look like a primitive version of something that they had drawn earlier on in the series. Okay, so I'll make them like kind of like gliders like sitting on them. Everybody loves it, and the Batman office is like, no, you can only draw the Batmobile. So I had to redraw it, the whole thing as the Batmobile.
You can't show that.
It was Batman and Superman. He was in the book, but they wanted the Batmobile, the new one that Greg had just designed, so I had to draw that one. I had to draw a cool ship and a car.
Plus, Superman and Batman, Wonder Woman, the movie.
I cannot wait to see that.
Yes.
Wonder Woman looks awesome, so I'm so stoked.
I like it.
Yeah. No, I don't think the Suicide Squad.
Well, no, what Suicide Squad has to do is it not only has to... None of the public knows who that is.
They should have reversed it mid Suicide Squad first.
Of
It's
all
tracking
things-
better.
Of all things to follow up that movie was Suicide Squad. You have
What's
to-
making me think that
Well,
Joker...
not pretty much.
What's making me think that Joker has...
Yeah, that's the one thing you have for that movie is you got Will Smith.
What's making me think that Joker has something going on in Batman Superman for them to have followed up Suicide Squad. I mean, Joker probably does pay a big... Well, they said it's mostly a Batman movie, so I'm guessing Joker is in that movie at some point. They just haven't talked about it.
Joker stuff is flashbacks.
In Suicide Squad? Yeah, I think it is so far, yeah. No, he's in it, but I don't think he's in...
I think
Well, it makes sense if Batman's been punching you in the grill for
They
the
might
last
have
20
it-
years.
That's true.
I mean, technically, Bruce Wayne probably had all his teeth are probably false at that point. I mean, he's had teeth knocked out so much too. He shouldn't have any real teeth. We get those titanium implants.
Supergirl and Dr. Wu making a comic book.
That I doubt. I know someone pitched a Batgirl Supergirl story that got. I would have thought that would have been great.
Did I give you one of my cards for it? And if you're cool with it, could you email those original relic designs?